Hey everyone, welcome back to my channels. For today's video, we are going to do my updated Longwear makeup routine. So I usually do this makeup every time I go out because every time I go out, it's always hot. I'm either at the club, at a party, at a lounge. This makeup is literally sweat-proof, cry-proof, shower-proof, pool-proof, waterproof in general, honey. So if you are looking for that Longwear no crackable makeup, this is the tutorial for you. The first thing I like to do is moisturize the skin. Moisturizing the skin is key, and I said this in my last video, but I'm just going to say it again. If you do not moisturize your face and you put makeup on, you're typically like really dewy right up in this area right here. Sometimes right around the mouth, in those areas. You need to moisturize your skin no matter if it's dry, oily, or if you have combination skin. Only because if you don't moisturize your skin is begging for moisture, and that's when you start to sweat, because when you produce natural oils, your face is trying to rehydrate itself. So it's important to moisturize the skin. So for moisturizer, I like to go in with a couple different things. So the first thing I like to do is spray my face. Now this is the Rose Water Quartz Crystal Priming Spray by Colourpop. You have to shake it up so you can activate the crystals. The next thing I like to go in with is this OLAY Active Hydration Active. This is their original cream. It doesn't get oily on the face, so it's good for a base under your makeup. It leaves the skin a little bit tacky, but that's a good thing because then your makeup will adhere to your skin instead of sliding off. So now I'm going to mattify my face. So I like to go in with my Mineral Infused Face Primer by e.l.f. and this just mattifies and eliminates pores. So if you have super huge pores, this product is great for that. And I just like to focus this like where I typically get oily. And that is in the T-zone and in my smile lines. I've noticed that lately that if I get up close to the mirror, I have a little bit of settling in my smile lines, which is cool, but I don't need that a part of my life. Make sure you get it all up through here, because you know we typically crease under our eyes, especially if we don't use a matte concealer. And this will just prevent it from settling into your fine lines. Now, it's not going to eliminate it 100%, but it will do at least 80 to 75% of its job to minimize the creasing under the eyes. So the next thing I'm going in with, this is also a mattifying cream. This is by e.l.f. and this is the e.l.f. Beautifully Bare Luminous Matte Cream. And I'm focusing this more into where I typically get oily, so it can just eliminate oil production. And don't forget to get this part right here, because we typically forget to get under here, but that's where we be producing most of the oils at. So don't forget that part. It needs love too. All of these products are inexpensive, just to let you know. All the primers I use, even the spray by Colourpop, is very inexpensive. All these products are no more than $8 a pop. So now that I have that all in, I'm gonna let it sit for a couple of minutes. At this point, I would typically go in with my eyeshadow, but I'm not really gonna do eyeshadow today, just because this is more of an updated Longwear makeup look. Longwear meaning mainly for the face, because that's where people typically have problems in makeup application. So we're gonna let this sit for 5 5 minutes, no more than 5 minutes, just to let it soak in the skin. Okay, so I just put a little bit of color corrector on. If you have dark circles or problem areas on the skin, go in with your color corrector now before you put on your foundation. Now for foundation, I'm going to go against the grain a little bit. Typically, I would use a matte foundation because if you have oily skin, you would go in with a matte. But if you have dry skin, you would go in with a dewy foundation. This is just a regular foundation. It does dry a little bit matte, but it leaves you with more of a satin matte finish, if that makes sense. So this is the MAC Match Master in 7.5, and I'm just going to use this as my foundation. An alternative to the MAC foundation, y'all know, my holy grail is Fit Me. And I like the Fit Me Matte Foundation. So if you have oily skin, definitely try that out. But if you have dewy skin, they also have a dewy formula for the Maybelline Fit Me. Try that out as well. So now I'm going to go in with my wet beauty sponge, and we're just going to work this into the skin. The key to Longwear makeup is pressing the foundation into the skin. Because when you press it into the skin, it has nowhere to go. And make sure you get around the nose and press it in as well. We want to press the foundation in. Number one, we don't want as much foundation on the skin. The Real Technique and Beauty Blenders do a really good job with soaking up excess product so it doesn't look like cakey on the skin. And make sure you work this down your neck. And don't forget your eyelids, especially since we're not putting on eyeshadow. Now I like to go in with the opposite side. So this is the side that I use to blend out the foundation. I like to go in with an opposite clean side to pick up any more excess product that we don't need. Because that's how people typically get, like, you know, their makeup tends to like slide off because they're not working it into the skin. Blend the foundation into the skin until your arm falls off. So now that we have the foundation worked into the skin, and I mean worked into the skin, we are going to go in with our concealer shade. So for concealer, I'm using the Colourpop No Filter Concealer in the shade Deep Golden 60, and this is a matte finish concealer. Perfect for the under eye area. It doesn't move. Once it's there, it's not going anywhere. So the way you get full coverage with concealers, I like to let mine sit for a few minutes, only to let it kind of set a little bit so it's not so wet when we try to blend it out. So I'm going back in with my beauty sponge, and we're just going to work this in. And as you can see, we got full coverage payoff by letting it just sit there. Also, a good technique for getting into those smile lines is going like this. Going back in with the Beauty Blender or the Real Technique sponge. And working this product into the skin. Oh, in the shade for my cream contour, this is also by Colourpop, and this is in the shade Deep 70. I used to use Rich 75, but I noticed that it's a little too red for my skin tone. So I just like to go in with Deep 70 and then use a powder contour just to deepen it up a little bit. Okay, to set the face, we're going to go in with my MAC Mineralize Skin Finish. And this is in the shade Dark. And I'm going to go back in with my beauty sponge. And we're going to press this into the skin. And when you press it into the skin instead of swiping, you get a lot more coverage, but you're really setting that area under the eye. And it's best to go in with a shade or a powder that's your skin tone, only because if your highlight is a little too light, obviously you can, you know, minimize the brightness with your all over face powder. And around the nose, and press that powder in there as well. Typically we leave out this area right here. So the next thing I like to do is bake just a little bit, because we do have that powder under the eyes, but to get a little bit more brightness under the eyes, I like to go in with my Derma blend loose setting powder in beige, cool beige, and they actually have a white one, but I don't need to be that stark white. And we're gonna pack this color on to the sponge, and what I actually like to do is blow it so I can get it even applications. And I actually learned that blowing technique from Melissa Ashley. Shout out to her. So to set that cream contour, because we need a bulletproof look, I'm going in with the Ruby Kisses 3D Contour Palette. I'm going to mix these two shades right here to get my contour shade. And remember, we cream contour, so we really don't need that much. It's more so like bronzing the skin. And as you can see, I'm going in with a different brush. I'll link the brushes I use in the description box. I also have a video on which brushes I use to do my entire face here. And this is the Shani brush. This is also a blush brush, but I like to use it to contour because it is slanted in. And basically what we're doing is we're pushing the product into the hairline. Why? Because we never want to have a line of demarcation. Now to cut the contour a little bit, although this is not a highlight and contour video, I'm just going to go in with my Mineralize Skin Finish and cut it. Cut it, cut it, cut it. You need to cut it. So this is basically it for my base. I'm going to come back and do the eyes and finish the entire look, and then I'm going to come back and show y'all what the finished look is. So I'll be back in a jiff. That was lame. Okay, so I have my face complete. I just did something simple, in my opinion. So now the most important thing to do is to spray down the face so we can get rid of all that powder that we put on, and it can set into the skin, and we can be fully bulletproof, and this can last all day. So the first setting spray I'm going to go in with is the Badescu Rose Water Spray. We're just going to wait for that to dry down. So the next setting spray we're going to go in with Adventurine Crystal Setting Spray by Colourpop. This is a mattifying spray, so this will leave your makeup matte, because we always like a matte finish, but it won't leave it too matte to where it looks like you're dry and powdery. It will leave it a nice luminous matte feel. Alright everyone, so this is it. This is the finished look. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. My updated long wearing makeup routine. Literally, this makeup will and should not move. So if you use all the techniques that I showed you, you don't have to use the exact same products. You can go in with other products, 24-hour products, 12-hour products, long wearing products. You can go in with anything. So Hopefully this technique will work for you guys. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And I look forward to seeing y'all in my next tutorial. Bye guys.